All right, we're going to hit the Desmos slides. Each slide, take your time, making sure you are accurate. You can be very specific with these tools up here to label things. Like you're going to label your G, right? You could write G with this guy here and put G prime, whatever it's going to be, right? Or you can even use the text box and put G and then the apostrophe would be G prime as well, okay? So we're going to go ahead and reflect this over the y-axis. We did this yesterday. You saw me do it with the little patty paper. Let's go ahead and talk about this again. It's a reflection over the y-axis. So if you can see, this is our mirror. A reflection's like a mirror, right? And we're going to reflect it over this axis right here. So it's going to flip over basically over this line. It's not going to look like this triangle. Like a translation would be looking just like the triangle, right? It just slid over. It's not going to look like this. They're both looking the same, right? It's not. It's going to flip. So how do we do this again? How far is T? And let me use a different color. How far is T from this y-axis? It's 1 unit. So we're going to go 1 unit right here and put our point right here. Okay? Oops, I'm still in that mode here. And you can make the points bigger. My mouse is a little off on Desmos for some reason. It's weird. So G is 3 units away from the axis. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3 here. Remember I said you could go ahead and label these? This one was going to be T prime. This one's going to be G prime. Super important to label these. And the bottom is actually B, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to make it how far away? 3 units away. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And there's our B prime. And we can label that. All right. Be very specific on how you label these. These aren't too difficult. When Miss Alonzo looks at the slides, she can tell real quick if you guys are getting it or if you're off a little bit. This is a perfect flip. Like think about turning the page of an image over. And I showed you with the patty paper yesterday. Okay. Keep it going. I want you guys giving me good stuff on these slides. Now, you guys, I'm not going to show you how to do every single one of these. You guys can do it. Miss Alonzo can help. But let's make sure you understand that this time, this is where we're reflecting it over the x-axis. This is the x-axis. You get lost, there's an x and a y there, okay? And you're going to go again, how many spots? 1 spot here, 1 spot here. So I'll just show you real quick. 1 spot here, 1 spot there. And then how many spots is this? This is 5. You're going to go up 5 right there. Can you label your points for me too? There we go. And then you can draw straight lines too to show me. So this is a reflection, the same image over the y-axis. Let's keep it going. Doing this one over the y-axis. Go ahead and write out your points as well. Feel free, Miss Alonzo, to push pause and see how kids can do this. Over the y-axis again. Okay. Flip it over. You guys got this. No big deal. Okay, now it wants to know, how was blue translated to red? Write the rule out. If you're writing rules, this is how you start. You go X, Y, that's the first point. Then you can go ahead and give me, I know I get fancy here, and I'm doing like an arrow to what the change is going to be. And if you remember, rules are written out like X plus 2, Y plus 4. And that would mean right 2, up 4, right? We remember this. Now, what's the rule that's happening here? Be careful here. You're going to need to look at, let's just look at this point right here. Now, what other point do I need to go to compare this to? I need to go to this one? No, that's not the same. I need to get to this one. You guys see that? So I need to get right here to this point. How did I get there? I'm going to the right. 1, 2, 3. How would you write that? Push pause and Miss Alonzo, feel free. X plus 3, and I'm going to go down 2. How would you write that? Okay. Make sure you know how to do this part. This part's not too difficult. You can handle it. You guys got this. All right, go ahead and translate with the rule, X plus 4, Y plus 2. I'll do 1 coordinate just to help you. X plus 4, that means right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Y plus 2, up 1, up 2. Okay? Very cool. And that would be called t prime. Do the rest of these, please. I'm not going to spend time on this. You guys got this. All right, reflect this one over the y-axis. I will go over this one a little bit because some people do get a little mixed up on the idea of where this g is going to go. It's going to reflect and flip over here because this is the y-axis, right? So the y-axis is right here. So this is our line. If we flip y over, it's 3 units away, so we're going to go 3 units right here. Oops, and that's where y is going to be, okay? And if we flip m, it's going to be 3 units away. It's going to be 3 units here. It's going to be right here. The thing is, though, when you flip over and there's a point that's actually on the mirror, it stays there. So the new g, it's like it's basically flipping from that point. It's attached to this. So you're turning the page, and this is like the binding of the book, right? So let's go ahead and boom, boom, and boom. Okay, and that's what it should look like. Let's keep it going. You got this one. Now it's over the x-axis, so it should be up here. Write the rule out. You can write the rule out here. You guys know how to do that. That's going to be on your quiz tomorrow. Make sure you can handle the rules. Going a little quicker here. Feel free to push pause, Miss Alonso. Then write a rule here. All right, this is what I want you to see today. This is super important. This is an x-axis reflection. This is where we started. This is the new image. This is the pre-image. This is the image. That's how they use it in the vocabulary. Now, look at our coordinates. What's the pattern you see? This is our first image here. All right, these are all negatives, okay, because they're all going -4, +4. That's where A is. -4, +2. That's where D is. All right, so these points and these coordinates should not mess you up. This is all right here, okay? Look at these coordinates. The negatives are still all negatives. We're still going negative, but then we're going down. So what changed? The x-axis reflection. Does the x change? No, the x is the same. Look at the pattern. None of the x's changed. But what did change? All of the y's went opposite. So remember that when there's an x-axis reflection, the x stays the same. When there's an x-axis reflection, the x stays the same. What changes? The y's. Okay? All right, cool, cool, cool. Now, go ahead and fill this out for me. Over an x-axis reflection, push pause and see if you can figure this out. It even gives you the rule right here. All right? If you're struggling, no big deal. D prime and E prime, okay? We're going to have 1 and 3. The x doesn't change. The x doesn't change. What does change? The y's. And it doesn't always mean it's going to be negative, because if this 2 is negative, then this 2 over here would have changed to positive. It always changes. That's what this negative in front of the y means. If you're multiplying something by -1, it's always going to change its sign, okay? All right, next slide. All right, now this is a y-axis reflection. A y-axis reflection, the y's stay the same. A y-axis reflection, the y's stay the same. What changes? The x's. The x's all went from negatives to positives. Okay? All right, go ahead and fill this one out. And this one's so super easy. They give you the easiest ones because there's no negatives involved. The next 2 slides I will. We're almost done. So fill these out for me real quick. D prime, E prime, F prime. If we look at this, it's going to be -2, 2, -4, 4, -1, 3. The x's changed, the y's did not. How do you remember this? Mr. Mercer, this is so hard. How do I remember this? Well, if it's a y-axis reflection, the y stays the same. If it's a y-axis reflection, the y stays the same. Okay? If it's an x-axis reflection, the x stays the same. That's how I'm trying to get you to remember it. All right? Circle the rule that works for the x-axis reflection. This one's kind of tough because we haven't really talked about the specifics of the rules as much, but in an x-axis reflection, the x stays the same. If you look at this rule, they're telling you that x is going to change. That doesn't work. This rule tells you it goes from x to y. That's not right. This one says it goes from x to -x. That's not right. This one says it goes from x to x and nothing changes. But the y is going to change. So it's this one. Oh, it's a bad circle, but it's that one. All right. What is the new point 5, 3 after an x-axis reflection? What are you guys thinking? Well, remember, and I'm going to keep throwing this rule out again, this means an x-axis reflection means the x stays the same, but the y changes. Okay? That's what the rule is going to look like. The x stays the same, but the y changes. So the x stays the same, but the y changes. Okay? Almost done. Now, after a y-axis reflection, all right, y-axis reflection, again, if we look at the rule, that's what we start our point at, y-axis reflection, the y stays the same, and the x changes. Okay? Let's keep it going. What is the new point of a -2, -3 after an x-axis reflection? I like this one. All right? X-axis reflection, what stays the same? X-axis reflection, what stays the same? The x. And what changes? The y. Are you getting it? What's the new point? There it is. Last one. What's the new point after a y-axis reflection? Y-axis reflection, the y stays the same. The x changes. Boom. Not too difficult. You got this. All right? We're going to do little whiteboards now. Let's see how you guys do. Okay, let's get to our whiteboards now. I want to see how good you guys can understand a couple of these different concepts we've gone through. And what I'm going to be doing more is going over maybe just points more than anything. So first things first, A has the board, B is going to talk, okay? All right? Let's see how we do this. First things first, go ahead and draw a graph. All right? And give me a triangle here. And show me real quick. I'll give you quickly. We're not going to put any points down here. B, you have to talk it out and almost point it out. Point where the problem, where the answer is going to be. What would it look like with a x-axis reflection? All right. What would that look like? Go ahead and show them right now. Give you 30 seconds. Okay. Now, hopefully you have that point. Now I'm going to go even higher level here. This is point A. Okay. And if you reflected it, it should have looked like this. Right? Hopefully you did it that way. Just showing it visually. Okay. Now, this is the new A prime. We're still having B talk. We're still having B talk. What if I said this is the coordinate? What is the new coordinate supposed to be? Remember, x-axis reflection, go ahead and figure it out. Talk to your partner. Talk it out. All right, next problem. We're switching it up. Oh, let me go over it though. The x stays the same and the y changes. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's change it up a little bit. Oops, this is now talks. Writes. All right, what about this one? What if I said, what's this rule going to be? If I said go left 4 units, down 3 units. Go ahead and write this translation rule out. Write this translation rule out for me. I'll give you 20 seconds. Cool. It should have been left means negative, down means negative. And that's what our answer should have been. Okay? All right, we're switching this up now. This is easier for me to do this way. All right. Real quick, let me give you one that's going to be on your homework. Let's see if I can do this real quick easily. All right. Oops. Here we go. Let's see. This one is what I want to do. Which one is this being reflected over? Show me on the whiteboard. This one's getting reflected over the y-axis. Okay, good. Now, let me try to show you one more. This thing's not acting up on me a little bit. All right. Switch roles. Switch roles. Let me see if I can get this zoomed out a little bit. You know what? I'm going to pause this, go back to this. Switch roles here. That was a little bit easy, but let's go ahead and switch roles a little bit. And let me give you a little more challenging one. A, B, and A prime, B prime. Now we're going to start doing coordinates. I think that's the best way to go about it. All right. If I said A is 5, 10, B is 3, 2, what are the new coordinates for a y-axis reflection? Okay. What are the new coordinates for a y-axis reflection? All right, if you're able to handle it, remember the rule. It's going to be the y stays the same. The y stays the same. The x changes. The x changes. Okay? Always the x changing. All right, let's do one more rule. I'm not sure where this is at. Sorry, guys. I know I'm trying to go real quick before school starts. This is in the morning, doing this quick video for you guys. After this, I want you guys to work on your homework. Try to get that done. Here we go. I said the same idea. A and B. Here's your coordinate. And I'm going to tell you it's an x-axis reflection. What's it going to look like? Okay? Make sure you understand, push pause. Remember, x-axis reflection stays the same. The y changes. So this 4 went -4. This 2, -2, went +2. All right? Do the best you can, and see you later.